Welcome to All Things Possible TV. I am Barney,
and I'm Bill.
Is Bill, and we are thrilled to have you with us. This episode is Healing from Sexual Abuse with Bill Barney, obviously. Bill does a lot of intuitive energy healing with a lot of our clients that have some type of abuse, but this time we're going to really focus in on sexual abuse and that you can heal. There are ways for you to move forward and for you to be able to put it behind you and really become the victor of your own situation and not have to be the victim. So we're thrilled to have you here and be able to share some tidbits of information and ways for you to be able to help yourself, as well as give you some ways that he is able to help as well.
So I'm really excited to share this stuff with you. But before we do, Chris, I think you should give them something for free.
I should give them something for free.
You should.
I would love for you to go to our website at www.allthingspossible.biz, right here on the screen, right?
It's here today. It's right here.
Didn't have to pull it down, didn't have to look for it. If you've watched some of our videos, Vanna has a lot of fun with this. But
it hides from me sometimes. But
we seriously want to give to you the free gift. And it's our 7 traits to create your thriving life. And it is a video series that really will literally help you move your life forward in a big way and have immediate results. So go get the 7 traits and move your life forward. It comes as a video series and some emails over about 2 weeks. And you can have just watch the 30-minute videos, find those 7 traits and apply those in your life, and you will see a dramatic difference.
Literally can change your life and start to take control and take charge of your life and move forward. It's absolutely powerful.
So that's awesome. So get that. And let's move into our topic. It's a kind of a heavy topic today, and what you find with a lot of All Things Possible information that we put out there is heavy topics, difficult challenges that we have in our life that we get to move forward and get out of. And over the years, there's been a lot of times when I get raw and real and put it out there of the pain and the different things that have happened in my life, our children's lives are working together. And the reason that we do that is to be able to help other people and to be able to strengthen and empower people to be able to get through those difficult challenges, because sooner or later you will have some of those challenges. So today, specifically, we are going to be talking about sexual abuse and different steps and different tools that they can have on how to actually heal from that.
So, absolutely. I'll just take it from there then, and we'll go back and forth. But the good news is you can heal from sexual abuse. You can move forward. This doesn't have to consume your life. It's so damaging. My heart goes out. My heart cries for people who have suffered sexual abuse, so men or women who have suffered sexual abuse. It's so sad, but you can heal from it. And I have worked with people who, from all walks of life, from people who have been in years and years of therapy. And please, the therapy is good. Use the therapy as much as you need to heal from this. But there are some things that I do that are very different than what you get in conventional therapy. Right. And that's what I want to share with you today, is some of the things that I do that when I see people walk away from 1 or 2 sessions, and always from the first session they go, I can't believe how much weight I was carrying. I can't believe how light I feel and how free and how much I've let go of in just 1 session. And so I want to share that with people. I want to share it with more people. I want to see people heal. I don't want to see people's lives ruined, and they literally are ruined many times for the rest of their lives because of abuse, because of what another person did to them, many times when they were just a child and had no say in the matter. And abuse can range from anything from, it's very, very damaging. Even somebody might say that it's not that big of a deal if just one time some stranger inappropriately touched you. You know what? I've found that even when it happened when somebody may have been 2, 3 years old or even younger, something in your tender little spirit was very, very damaged and very hurt by that. And it is very damaging. That's that sense of invasion.
Right.
And of course, there's all levels of sexual abuse to people who have been abused for years and years, perhaps by a family member. It can be, some of the other forms of abuse, date rape, stranger rape. And really, it doesn't even have to literally be sexual abuse to rob your power. Some of the other kind of abuse, Kristen, maybe you could share.
Well, yeah, you've got verbal abuse. A lot of times we disregard some of the verbal abuse and physical abuse. And I know that you find a lot of people be like, oh, I just see this same woman going back over and over and over. And they're almost drawn to stay with these difficult men. Or a man that's in a relationship with a woman that's overbearing and controlling. And there's a lot of different types of abuse that have the same effects. They can all be very challenging and very hard.
And they can rob so much of our power, yet some of the side effects are the same, and we'll go into that.
Right.
But you had, and we experienced this firsthand, although it wasn't verbal abuse or physical abuse or even sexual abuse, you had an experience that totally affected your life in a big way for a long time. We did a lot of work for you to overcome that. Why don't you just share that a little bit?
Well, raw and real, again, it's my life out in public. But when I was 14 years old, I had been in a play, and we had a cast party. And we went to what then was Deseret Gym, which is going to age me, but it basically like a rec center or a community gym. And the whole cast went to this party. And back then, it was, a bus ride up and a bus ride back. And we wore our swimsuits on under our clothes because it was going to be faster, and we wanted to stay in the pool as long as we could and stuff. So we got back from being at this event late at night. I was, 8th grade, and we had to call on the payphone. There was not cell phones or pagers, and this is really aging me, right? But I was trying to call home to get a ride. My twin brother and I had both been at this party, and they had a group of kids that were scared, some girls that were scared to walk home. So my twin brother walked the girls home up the street several blocks, and I was just going to call our mom. And I couldn't get through the line. It was busy, and I couldn't get through the line to make that call. And the teachers came out of the school and said, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, she's just on the phone. It'll be no big deal. My brother's coming right back. I'm fine." So the teachers that were chaperoning the activity left. And within a few minutes, a car pulled up with four early 20s guys jumped out of the car. They'd been drinking, and they attacked me. And they were ripping clothes off. I still had a swimsuit. I had a pocket knife cut, and a lot of things that had happened. Luckily, as this was going on, and I was being dragged across the grass, and they were telling me they were going to rape me, and they were going to take me to their car, and they looked up and saw a police car coming down and threw me into a concrete ditch. And so I did get away. But for years I held fear. I was scared of the dark. If you came up behind and scared me, I would turn around and punch you. You were in big trouble if you scared me or startled me. Many years when we were first married, and there are times it's not as severe now that we've worked on it, but I didn't want to go out in the dark. I didn't want to be by myself because there were those fears, those phobias, those insecurities. And I really felt damaged. I felt a low self-esteem and that confidence.
Well, in many ways you were violated. That intention
Right.
of violation, it really did affect you emotionally in a big way. And this was a traumatic event for you, but yet compared to someone who's gone through so many of these other things, is so much worse. And so both of our hearts really go out. So let's just talk about quickly
Okay.
let's talk about some of the results or some of the effects of this kind of abuse. And obviously, if you're listening to this and you've suffered from abuse, I'm not telling you anything you don't know. But people suffer from low self-esteem. A total lack of confidence just goes away.
Yeah, they have a loss of personal power, and they really don't feel that strength within themselves to be in control and to feel like they can do it.
And they have no sense of dignity. There's shame. Why it seems? Why should they feel shame? But yet it always seems to accomplish that. Accompany this event is a feeling of shame, and shame is the lowest vibrational frequency emotion that we can feel. Shame, there is no lower. That is one of the most damaging emotions, and yet it's so prevalent with a victim of abuse.
They also feel feelings of worthlessness and that just no value, that they're not valuable as a person because of what's happened to them.
It's hard to value yourself and hard to let other people value you, or even once people do value you, it's hard to recognize that the authenticity of that because of what's been taken from you. The sense of security, the sense of safety, great. A lot of fear. You talked about fear. And then another thing is part of your soul, part of your essence, literally, and this is a thing that a lot of people aren't aware of, and the abuser never does this consciously, but I find through the energetic work that I do, that this always happens, that the abuser literally, well, before I tell you this, have you ever said, if you are a victim of this, I feel like something was taken from me that I can never get back. They stole something from me. They stole part of me. Guess what? You're right. I'm here to validate you and tell you that you're right, that something was taken from you. And they literally do take a part of you in essence, and I believe it's part of your soul, a part of your spirit, literally gets captured or taken captive by them, and it stays with them. And not only that, and again, this is on a subconscious level on their part, they, because of their sense of, if it's an ongoing abuse, they want to control you, and they'll leave a part of them with you. And so you go on for years and years and you don't feel like you can ever put this person behind you or get them out of your mind, and you think about them. Their thoughts come up constantly. It's because part of you is with them and part of them is with you. And, this is just those feelings that you have. I'm here to validate this. There's something real there. And this is what I can help you heal from.
Well, there's several steps of healing and several different ways. There's several different things that Bill does when he does a session with you. Why don't we talk about some of those?
Okay, great. So one of the first things we need to do, if you haven't seen our video, go back a few videos on releasing trapped emotions. I believe it's called Stuck Sucks, right?
Yeah, Stuck Sucks.
Stuck Sucks.
Stuck Sucks.
Okay. On releasing trapped emotions, and what I'll do is intuitively, I ask questions of your spirit, of your subconscious, of emotions that are trapped within you, that are surrounding this event in your life. Because it's so hard to move forward if you've got these emotions you don't even know that are there, you're not conscious of. Your subconscious knows that they're there. And by interfacing with your subconscious and with your spirit, I can intuitively go in and find those, help you release them. It's a very quick thing to release, as you'll see if you review our video about releasing trapped emotions. But that's an essential part of healing. The next thing that we do is a very unique and a very essential part of letting go. And that is what I call get the sliver out, okay? And it's something that I think is a step that gets missed because people I'm trying to forgive this person, I'm trying to forget, I'm trying to put it behind me, and they just can't. And if you've ever gotten a sliver in your finger, what's the first thing you do? You go in and you get a needle, you get a magnifying, you get a drill out if you have to.
He's a little more dramatic with a sliver than some of us do tweezers and a little pin.
No, man, I'm mining for gold in there. But you get that sliver out, right? No matter what it takes, you're not going to leave that sliver in, because you know that if you just put your little antiseptic over it and your Band-Aid, it's not going to heal unless you get that sliver out. Right. And it's painful sometimes to get that out. Once you get the sliver out, then you know if you put your triple antibiotic ointment on there and your little Band-Aid around there, then it's going to heal. Until then, it doesn't heal. But yet many times from emotional wounds, we try to heal and we have a sliver. We have this infection in there. There's a source of irritation in there, And we cannot heal as long as that source of irritation is. So tell them what our magic process is, and it's not a magic process, but tell them what we do uniquely that really, I think it's a step that gets missed a lot of times, and it's so essential to healing and forgiving and letting go of anything, but specifically we're talking about abuse.
And I hope that you're talking about getting the words out. Is that?
Yes, absolutely.
I hope I'm jumping into here of what you're talking about. And that's actually getting those words out, having that conversation, and feeling like that you have been able to put into words what's happened to you and to be able to get rid of that. There's several different processes, but one of the main processes is to actually get those words out and actually speak it, because when you speak it, there is so much, and I'm struggling for words here on exactly how to explain it.
These feelings and these things that went in are very, very powerful, and when we speak, that's part of the process of creation, of manifestation. And when we speak those words, we give them power, we validate these feelings, and as we do that, we're able to release them. And so I really have the person go into I guide them through a very deep, relaxed state, and I will have them, with their closed eyes, visualize this person standing in front of them in a very safe and secure manner. And it's very safe and secure and gentle. But I will have this person stand there in their imagination and tell this person the things they never got to tell them. How you had no right to take these things from me. How dare you touch me? How dare you do this? You had no right. I was a child. I was whatever. You took advantage of me. And to really get to essentially tell this person off. And many times I encourage the clients, if they feel this strongly, raise their voice, yell if you want, okay? Curse them out. But because it's inside you, this poison is inside of you, and you've got to get it out. Just like a sliver, okay? And this doesn't go on for hours and hours and hours, and you don't have to repeat the process. Once it's done, as I guide a client through this, generally it's 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is. And then they're done and they're just empty and they go, oh my gosh, I had no idea that was inside me. And it's just amazing. It's just like taking a balloon and just letting the air out of it and it just collapses. All this monster that's been living inside of them. Once they speak these words in this setting and this way, it really does let that out.
Well, and it allows them to reclaim their power back. To reclaim their power, their intentions, their dignity, and be able to value themselves again, to really find that. And
I guide the client through that, because as we talk about what they personally felt, that they felt that this person took their sense of safety. So you took my, and I will guide them through that, and they will say this, you took my sense of safety. I claim it back. You have no right to it. This is mine, and I claim it back for me, and I claim it back right now. This is very empowering, and we go through that with my sense of personal power, with my dignity, with my purity, with my self-confidence.
Right.
And all of these things, and it's a very individualized things, but there are some very common denominators with abuse. But we have them claim that back in the moment to literally, there's so much power in the spoken word. And to speak that words and claim that and say, and I do it now.
Right.
And you have no right to this, and I take it back from you.
And that goes back to declarations too. It's declaring it and calling it forth.
Absolutely.
And having it be that way. The other thing that we do a ton with is forgiveness. And there's several different processes, a lot of different ways. We do a lot of write and burn. We do a lot of different processes of forgiveness, but you take them a few steps further than that
in this scenario here, right in this same event, right when we get done telling the person what they took from them, from claiming it back, telling them how they had no right to do it, then we go in and forgive them. And forgiveness can be very difficult. I've talked to people who've worked for years and years to forgive their abuser. And what it comes down to, and I think what really helps, if you believe in God, that's very helpful. If you don't believe in God, you can believe in the universe or in karma, that the universe makes all things fair. But let's just talk about God. And this is a very spiritual, not churchy, not religious, but spiritual session that I do with clients. But I bring them and I guide them through a place where they can say, you know what? God knows what this person did. God knows this person's heart. I don't know. Sometimes we don't know if this person was abused as a child or what caused them to be the way they are, if they're just plain evil. but God knows. And do you trust God enough? Do you trust karma? Do you trust the universe enough that the universe will deal with this person justly? And you come to a point where you realize, you know what? I don't have to personally hold this person accountable.
Right.
I trust God to do it. Now, if this person deserves to be prosecuted by the law and can be, absolutely, I believe they should be. I'm not saying that you shouldn't, testify or witness against them if there's that opportunity to do that. They should be accountable for it. But many times that's just not possible. There's not enough evidence, whatever. It's not worth the pain for you, whatever your personal thing is. But if it comes to that, but on a very personal level, even if you're still going to be going to court over the next couple of years, you need to not carry the weight of this person. Give it to God. Let God and let go. Or give it to the universe. And trust that the universe will deal, or the justice system will deal personally with them. Because it doesn't hurt that person at all if you carry the weight of what they did to you around the rest of your life. And it absolutely will. And if you've been dealing with this for any length of time, you can see the damage that it's done to your life. And you don't have to carry that. And I guide you through a very detailed process. One of the biggest things I do in my healing sessions with all my clients is forgiveness. And not a religious forgiveness. It's a spiritual forgiveness. It's a letting go of not carrying other people's burdens around on your back, because you're the one that suffers from that.
And forgiving yourself.
Absolutely. The shame, the blame. I blame myself. Why does it, we can look at it in our head and you say, why does a little child blame themselves for what an adult did to them? But it happens.
Right.
They blame themselves, and to let go and truly start to love yourself again. And not see yourself as a bad, deficient, evil person, whatever that is.
Why don't you tell them a little bit about severing all those energetic connections, like how to
absolutely
to sever that?
So after we feel like that, they speak to this person and say, you know what, I forgive you. It doesn't mean that you let them off the hook, that they are not accountable, but that you're not going to carry them around anymore. You say, I forgive you. But what happens also is they literally, it's like a vampire, that there's energetic connections that come from you to them. And there are these energetic connections, and they drain you, and they keep you connected to this person. Okay, and this is, again, on a subconscious level, but it always happens. And I guide them through a process of literally severing the connections, pushing all the connections away and severing the connections. And it's amazing. Over and over again, I hear clients, I had no idea that was there, and I feel so free now. I feel so light. I cannot believe that there was all that draw. And all once I can put this person out of my mind. I can go days without thinking about it. And when I do, most of the time I just feel pity for them, or I don't feel anything at all. But there's no longer that hurt, that anger, that victim, all those feelings of victim. Another big thing that I do, and we'll do a more detailed session on soul retrieval.
Yeah, that one needs a whole one by itself.
But basically what I talk to you about is part of your essence actually gets stolen. And we go through a process, and we use angels. Your angels will come and assist in this process, and you will sense them. I can almost guarantee you will sense them, but I'll guarantee you they'll be there. And it's a very spiritual thing, where we restore your essence to yourself, and we get rid of that person's essence, send it back with them. And boy, I'll tell you what, the healing that takes place with this is just powerful. And these are the things that I don't think happen in most therapy sessions. Okay?
Right. Well, and just to reinstate that purity and that worth and that value, and to make a person whole and complete. It's a very, very powerful thing. And if you watched a Heart Wall episode not too long ago, that's another thing that you do is work on.
And that's follow-up work after the first initial stuff, is to remove the heart wall, because we literally do. We put up walls. No one's ever going to hurt me like that again. But also, and that's good. You need that in the time if you're going under an extended period of abuse. You need that protection to protect your spirit, to protect your heart, and those feelings from all this ugliness that's going on. But you know what? You probably don't need that now, and it doesn't serve you, but yet it doesn't go away by itself. It isn't something that wears off, okay? It stays there, and it's so essential to do that so that you can attract the right kind of people to you. And if you're in a good and healthy relationship now, that you can more fully commit, and you might think, I'm 100%, but after you go through one of these, you realize there's even more of you to give to that person that you love and to share with them.
Right.
And then when I do healing of any sort, when I ask the questions, I don't have a set pattern, step A, B, C, D, E. The first set pattern I do, the only thing I do that's always the same, is I begin by seeking help from the divine. That's where I begin. After that, I make a connection to your spirit, to your subconscious, because your spirit and your subconscious know what you need to do to heal, and it's specific for you. It won't be the same for any other person.
Yeah, every session is unique and different.
Yeah, I don't know what why you're having the issues that you're having, the health problems, the emotional blocks. But your spirit knows, and I know how to get those answers through intuition. I know how to get those answers, and when I get the answers, I know what to do with these imbalances that I find to help you restore them. And then healing takes place, and you can empower yourself. You can take charge of your life. You can literally make these things part of your past, to where it's something to reference on, and you can become a stronger person. And you can also be a resource to help other people too.
Right.
And to be strong. So.
And you literally can let go of that pain. You can let it go and move forward.
Absolutely. And that's my message. You can heal. I would love to work with you.
You can move forward.
Please let go of the pain and give it to God. Give it to God. Give it to the universe. Whatever works for you. You're not meant to hold it. You're not meant to carry that. It hasn't worked for you very well so far, has it? I've seen this, and I don't know you, but I've seen this over and over again with my clients. And my heart, this is one of the most rewarding things I do, is help someone heal or facilitate a healing from abuse. And so today I'd like to offer you just a free mini healing session, a 20-minute session, where we'll set up a time. We'll do this over the phone, maybe even on Skype. And we'll spend 20 minutes talking about and doing all the healing that I can, and see if you feel like, take me for a test drive, so to speak. If you feel like that this will be something that will serve you.
You'd be amazed how much you can get done in 20 minutes with a session. So that's a great thing.
Absolutely. And so that's my gift that I'm offering you if you've experienced this, or if you have another issue in your life. Go ahead and email us at, it's been here for the last little while. Okay. At allthingspossible.biz. And click Contact Us button and email and say, I'd like a free 20-minute healing session with Bill, and I would be glad to set that up. Bless you. May you heal. May you move forward. May you be happy.